There's 4 weeks left of set 11 and 14.13 is the penultimate patch. Now, I was going to make this video a lot sooner, but was waiting for more changes because this patch is tiny. But this is the tournament patch, and so it's going to be small to not wildly disturb the meta. However, hopefully the bigger patch will be the one after this, which will be the for fun patch of set 11, as that is the last patch. Nonetheless, let's cover all the changes in this patch right after you hit the subscribe button. First off, there's 2 nerfs and 1 buff to units. That buff is to Kai'Sa, who is seeing her base attack speed increase to 0.85. Now, this is a revert to the nerf in 14.8 when 4 costs were buffed. Anyway, those nerfs are to Ahri and Syndra, but specifically their fated bonus. Now, while this may not seem like much, this is actually a pretty big nerf to fated verticals due to its multiplicative nature. So this nerf more so affects fated Dryad. I do understand where this nerf is coming from because the Ahri AP gave a lot of damage to units like Syndra and tankiness to units like Thresh. Likewise, if you got a fated Spat, that would be a huge buff to Ornn or Azir for the same reasons as Thresh and Syndra. But if you include the number of champions and the fated multiplier, then at 3 fated you've lost 6 AP and 2% damage amp, at 5 you've lost 30 AP and 10% damage amp, and at 7 you've lost 63 AP and 21% damage amp. Personally, I feel like these nerfs are kinda excessive. I'm not currently aware of Fated Dryad being completely oppressive right now, but maybe I'm missing something or this is coming alongside a bug fix. But I want to go back to the Kai'Sa buff because it's part of a bigger buff to Inkshadow where its damage amp and reduction is getting increased at 5 and 7. Now in this set, if you're ever playing Inkshadow, you usually just dip in for 3 for a free item, or if you get an emblem then you can full send it for 7 Inkshadow. So that has left 5 Inkshadow being kinda neglected this entire set. But with these buffs there is the following 5 Inkshadow boards you could play. There's great uses of the Inkshadow items like Aurelia, Udyr and Galio, and Aurelia's damage with some of the Inkshadow items is generally very high. However, I have found this board difficult to play due to the nature of it being a level 9 comp, although I have found success by playing Bard in the mid game with a board like this. Ultimately, I don't think these Inkshadow buffs are that great. 7 Inkshadow will be stronger, which is nice, but 5 still isn't that viable because a lot of the Inkshadow units don't really use the items well, and there isn't a core tank in the trait. Anyway, moving on, like Kai'Sa, Sniper is also getting its nerf reverted, wherein the damage per hex is going back up to its 14.11 values. This is just good because the nerfs were made as Ashe started to become less relevant in the meta. Hopefully with this we'll see some sniper comps in some tournaments. Moving on, we have some buffs to artifacts when their base stats granted are going up across the board. Ludens will grant more AD and AP, Prowler's Claw will grant more AD, and RFC will grant more attack speed. However, according to LoL Chess, Curse Blade has been deleted from the game. I am not sure whether this is due to the item being too bad or too good, but maybe this is due to the tournaments. Although Tactics.tool shows this item is getting buffed, so we'll have to wait to see the official patch notes on Tuesday. When I was playing PvE on stream, I didn't manage to see Curse Blade once, so I'm starting to think it actually has been removed. But lastly, let's talk about the Augment changes. For the 3rd patch in a row, Built Different is getting another buff, and its health granted is going up at each stage. There's also Mulch, which is seeing its damage bonus go up to 8%, and Silver Ticket will now grant 3 gold alongside it. But the more interesting and frankly warranted nerfs are to the hero augments, specifically Garen and Shen. Garen's bonus true damage is getting reduced to 45%, and Shen's damage amplifier is going down to 85%. So the true damage output from these hero augments should be significantly lower, which makes sense because true damage is incredibly powerful due to it ignoring all resistances and damage reduction. Overall, I'm kinda happy to see these hero augments get nerfed because I've come to dislike the version of hero augments we have in set 11. But that rant is for another video. For now, that's it. That's the entire patch. I told you it was short, right? So what do you think of this patch? It seems to be for tournaments, so will you watch them? And do you hate the hero augments as much as I do? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Anyway, check out the other videos if you want to see more from me, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.